Greetings of the day. Myself, Professor Ajith P. Mathews, working in the Department of Commerce, UG, in Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous. Today, we are going to discuss about the main different types of checks. As we are aware, check is a negotiable instrument which is used for the transfer of funds, especially in the banking sector. So now we will move to the first category of check, that is open or bearer check. So from the definitions we can understand, from the term we can understand bearer. Bearer means one who carries, right? Yes. So when the word bearer on the face of the check is not crossed or cancelled, the check is known as a bearer check. So bearer checks are payable to persons specified in the instrument or any person who possesses it and present for payment over the counter. So bearer check is nothing. Whoever having the possession of the instrument is having the right to encash the same over the counter of the bank. So bearer check includes the possession of the check. The possession matters if there is a risk in case if the check is lost. The person who finds it can collect payment from the bank. So that is why whoever holds the check, the bearer, right, either it may be a genuine drawer or it may be somebody else, it doesn't matter. Whoever holds the check can encash. So there is a one risk associated with the bearer check. That is what whoever is getting the check can collect it over the counter of the bank. So money can get from the counter of the bank also. So there is a risk, some sort of risk is associated with the open or bearer check. We'll move to the next. That is order check. So we can see the term order. Right. So when the word bearer written on the check is crossed or cancelled, so usually we can see the term bearer is there on the face of the each and every check. If it is crossed in the sense, yes, it is an order check. If it is not crossed in the sense, it is a bearer check. So order check is written on the face of the check and it is cancelled. An order check is payable to a specified person named in the check or any other to whom it is endorsed. So properly one person's name is there on the face of the check, okay, and the term bearer is also cancelled on the face of the check. Then only that particular person can encash the check, right, over the counter. Okay, so that is the concept. Or else we can do one more thing, we can endorse the check also to another specified person. Okay, so the specified person is essential in the case of an order check. Whoever carries the check is not entitled to withdraw the money. Moving to the next check, that is crossed check or account payee check. Crossed check is a very popular term to increase the security of the check. So what is meant by crossed check or account payee check? So crossing is an instruction to the banker that the amount will be transferred only to the account of the beneficiary or the payee. That is an instruction. Okay. So the person who issues or write the check specify it's an account payee by drawing two parallel lines on the top left corner of the check. So if there are two parallel transverse lines on the top left corner of the check, we can assume it is a crossed check. And always the payment of the crossed check can be transferred only to the account of the particular customer. He doesn't have an account in the bank, he has to open an account. He or she is not supposed to withdraw the money over the counter. So that is the main speciality of the crossed check. This is an added security feature. Okay. Next we are moving to mutilated check. Right. Sometimes there may be a chance of the check gets torn into two or more pieces and the presentation of the check is not in a good format, right? In that case, the bank can take a decision, right? Then what the bankers have to do? They have to get the confirmation from the drawer before honoring the check. Who is the drawer? We know the parties in a check, right? Drawer, drawee, payee is there. Drawer is a person who makes the check, right? Drawer is always the bank and payee is the beneficiary. So if there is some sort of issues are there with the check, the banker has to confirm with the drawer first, then only they have to make the payment. So those category of checks are known as mutilated check. Moving forward, antedated checks are there. Antedated checks means, right, the checks, the date which is mentioned on the face of the check, which should be earlier than the date of issue. As we know, as per the Indian banking context, a check which is issued, a check is having a validity of 3 months from the date of issue. Okay, so if the date is earlier than the date of issue, there is no worry. If it is up to 3 months, it is valid, and those category of checks are known as antedated checks. Obviously, what is the next category of check? It is PDC or post-dated check, right? In future, that means the date is yet to arrive, right? So as of now, I can issue a check to another person or a payee by putting the date of the next week, right? What happens to the payee? The payee has to wait until then, up to the due date. After or on the due date or after the due date only, he can encash the check. So the check is having a date which is yet to come, that is future. Yet to come is known as a post-dated check. So antedated, post-dated check. Okay, for antedated there is no waiting, but for post-dated checks you have to wait up to the date which is mentioned on the face of the check. Next is stale check. As I already mentioned, the validity of a check is usually 3 months, right? After the issue, it is 3 months. Within that period, we have to use or encash the check. If the check is being circulated after 3 months, then it is not valid in nature. Those category of checks are known as stale checks. Check date crossed 3 months from the date of issue. So it should be noted from the date of issue, right? Within 3 months, it is valid. After, again, if you are presenting after 3 months after the date of issue, it will not be considered, it is not valid. So those category of checks are known as stale check. So in this short session, we already discussed about the major types of checks, starting from the bearer check, order check, crossed check, mutilated check, antedated check, post-dated check, and finally the stale check. Thank you.